Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Actually, it is still morning. I thought it was going to be afternoon then. I just looked down at the time. I was like, but yeah, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Plus. My name is Graham Day. This is Bib. We
Hello.
are Ice Cream Plus, and this is The Scoop. Welcome in. First things first. Darian Drake. What a guy. We've not even started the stream, and he's dropped a raid on us with a party of 7. Thank you very much, Mr. Darian Drake. Much appreciated, dude. I hope Conqueror's Blade. See that? Pow, 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 pow. Got it first time. Pow.
Mhm.
I bet now I've got that. I bet you weren't playing Conqueror's Blade, were you? I bet you weren't. Morning, Pez Luke as well. Morning, chaps. Morning, lads. Sorry, and Drake. How's things? A little bit late today. We usually are 10 a.m. ish. I know we're not really late compared to yesterday. Yesterday went live at like 10:59, so it's 10 a.m. ish. Today we went live. Oh no, we went live at 10:59. Yeah, it still counts. I may have slept for 12 hours last night, so yeah, that's part of the reason why we are later today. And I say later, on time today, because I fell asleep at like 9:30 last night and then didn't wake up until like 9:30 today. So yeah, anyway. Was doing Siege today. Conqueror's Blade was down for updates maintenance. I get it right, and you change the game. Oh, I see what you're doing. But yeah. And anyone, if you were in the channel, please feel free to get involved in the chat. As mentioned, my name is Graham Day. This is Bib. We are Ice Cream Uploads, and this is The Scoop, the UK's #1 video games podcast, as titled by us, but that's fine. My name is Graham Day. This is Bib. I've mentioned that like 7 times now. So if you didn't realise my name is Graham Day, this is Bib, then okay, well, my name is Graham Day. This is Bib. Hi. Now we're going to give you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games, and we want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions, so we can create a little bit of a debate, a discussion, a back and forth that we can go through on stream. And if you are live in the Twitch chat, it's on you guys to be the voice of the people that listen on demand later on. And I say that because we turn this into a YouTube video and an audio podcast that goes on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. So if you were in the chat, please feel free to use your voice on behalf of everyone else that's watching and listening later on demand. And if you are watching and listening on demand, hey, how you doing? Feel free to hit the like button on the YouTube video. Just you don't have to, but if you like it, then that's how you show it, and then we can do more of it. Yeah, it was good. Before we jump into the news, though, a few talking points. Exclamation mark giveaway. I usually do this at the end of the show, but I want to let you guys that are in early know. We are giving away an Evercade retro gaming console. We backed Evercade on Kickstarter twice, once for us and once for you guys. So there is a link in the chat to our pinned tweet. If you go to that, you can get yourselves entered into a winner retro gaming console. Another link in the chat for you, exclamation mark Muscle Moose. If you want 25% off Muscle Moose, there you go. Bosh. Do you know, Ron Seal does it? It says on the tin, 25% off ice cream 25. Boom. And the only other thing to mention is if you are a subscriber, because I see at least 2 of you in the chat this morning. If you're a subscriber, make sure you are connected to our Discord. If you're a subscriber, that means you're paying to support us, which is amazing. But make sure you're connected to our Discord, not just so that we got you on our Discord and you're ours now and we keep you forever, but also because if you're in Discord and a subscriber, you've got a chance of winning a prize. And the prize is one of these sexy hats that myself and Bib are both wearing, the Ice Cream Uploads baseball caps. Yeah, we are giving the first one of those that's not owned by a member of the Ice Cream Uploads team away to a subscriber using the loot drop, which is a private area on a Discord only for subscribers. If you're a sub and you've linked all your things up, you have access to that. You have a chance of winning one of these. It doesn't cost you anything else. You've paid for your sub. You might as well make sure that you're in it for a chance to win it. Yeah. But anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get into the news. Starting off with the story, if you are following us on Twitter, Ice Cream Uploads, obviously. Actually, before we do that, let's get bigger bib.
Bigger Bib.
Hey. So yeah, if you've seen on Twitter already, you know what the lead story is, but we'll jump into it straight away for everyone else. Whoop. Let's get rid of the URL bar so it looks nice. Oh, there we go. Halo Infinite's delay was allegedly partly due to TV show distraction and heavy outsourcing. New report investigates turbulent development. This is written by Andy Robinson for VGC, which goes on to say distractions caused by the Halo TV series and a higher than usual amount of outsourced development contributed to Halo Infinite's delay. Not a great start, but let's continue. That's according to a new report from Thurrott, which investigates the Xbox Series X title's turbulent development history Start again. Xbox's turbulent development history via anonymous development outsourcers. The publication notes that building a console launch game is already a challenging task, especially considering Halo Infinite's Slipspace engine has been built from scratch for the project. However, it puts a particular focus on Infinite's outsourced development strategy. Outsourcing is very common. It is very common for any AAA project as large as Halo, but according to third sources, 343 was creating even more content externally than usual. The coordination between the many different companies contributing to Infinite has been rough at best, it says. One person familiar with the company's plans indicated that they believe the outsourcing for Infinite was at a ratio higher than a typical studio undertakes during development, which has caused significant headaches for cross development collaboration. The E3 2019 demo was one portion of the game that was developed by an external company, it's claimed, and at that time, the game was not in a state that was playable at that level of fidelity. The publication goes on to cite multiple development sources who describe the collaborative effort behind development as challenging, with significant disagreements leading to the departure of the game's creative director Tim Longo in August 2019. Longo's replacement, Mary Olsen, also left 343 in October of the same year. Uh, One third source reportedly pointed to the production of the Halo TV series for Showtime as a significant distraction for 343's management. According to the publication, the in-development TV project is oftentimes taking their priority instead of focusing on making sure development progress is on the right path to reaching its targeted deadline. Microsoft confirmed that Halo Infinite had been delayed into next year earlier this month. In a statement published on its website, developer 343 Industries said that the decision to delay the game was motivated by multiple factors, including the ongoing impact of COVID-19 on development. Following its gameplay reveal last month, Halo Infinite's visual fidelity faced widespread criticism from the media, fans, and even big brands who highlighted issues with both the game's art direction and the perceived lack of advancement since the last Halo game. In a new blog post, Microsoft was bullish about Xbox Series X launch lineup without Halo, claiming that the console would launch globally with over 100 optimized for Xbox Series X titles, which includes backwards compatible games. But the gist of it is, Halo is split into many camps, as a lot of games are. I think Assassin's Creed Valhalla is like split across 15 studios worldwide or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
A large number. If it might not be 15, it's in that ballpark. So that's nothing new. But the interesting thing is that Halo Infinite, so the game, the staple, the breadwinner of the Halo series, is delayed because they are focusing on the TV side of content. Interesting. What are your thoughts on that, babe?
To the major thing that I think I'm going to take away from this, and I could be I could be super wrong about this, which I know I will be in some people's eyes. But do you think that they're starting to put some of their eggs in the film and TV market rather than the video game one? Do you think they've got a much more lucrative market through TV and media rather than playing the games?
Um, I wouldn't necessarily say it's more lucrative. I mean, we've seen time and time again that I think isn't Grand Theft Auto 5 the most valuable intellectual property ever, including all
Hmm.
film and TV and music and everything. So, so I don't necessarily think that there's a bigger market there. There's a new market there. A new market. If you're getting no money from a market and then you get lots of money from a market, then it's a massive, massive increase. So there's probably some of that, but it's probably also a bit of the source of by hitting TV, and if you do that right, you go mainstream. Video games are mainstream. Let's not forget
Yeah.
that. Obviously, they are now. They weren't previously. They are now, and they're going to be here to stay. But just because they're mainstream doesn't mean that they are mainstream, for want of a better phrase. Like you've got loads of things that are on TV that people are aware of but don't really watch, or was good but people forget about. Like a video game that has done that previously. Like Pokemon Go went from being mainstream. Pokemon is mainstream. Pokemon is massive. Pokemon Go was something else, and it
Hmm.
went everywhere. Um, you do get TV programs that are pretty good. For the first couple of seasons, Game of Thrones, it got about 3 years into Game of Thrones, and the Game of Thrones exploded and was huge for like the next like 5, 6, whatever seasons it was.
Yeah.
Um, the Witcher at Christmas, everyone was tossing coins to their Witcher in their sub emotes and everything. Toss a coin to your streamer, oh Valley
Yeah.
of Play. Like there was all that everywhere because it went everywhere. The Witcher was a big game that was mainstream, but the TV show took it further. Um, And
Mhm.
I'm guessing Halo have signed a deal with Showtime in the hope that they could be the next Witcher. They could get Mandalorian-esque coverage. Mandalorian every week when the new episode was coming out, people were talking about it. Witcher, everyone was talking
Yeah.
about it, and and having that alongside Halo, alongside the new Xbox, a console that's 2 to 1 down in sales when it comes to the PS4. Obviously, do that on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Get the TV show alongside it. Boom! Everyone's a winner. But not if
Mhm.
you let your main thing. You can't expect more people to buy a copy of a game because it's on TV if it's not finished. Oh shit! So yeah,
It just feels weird that technically the biggest Halo game that they are going to be releasing in the last 3 years and probably in the next 3 years is potentially been um, sorry, Grange is blowing his nose. It put me off a little bit. It could potentially be, well, it has been set back due to potentially creating a TV show off the back of it. Now, surely the people who are super Halo hardcore are going to be absolutely livid about this because the opportunity for them to be able to play a new Halo game when the new gen comes out has potentially been taken away because of putting a TV series in place instead. I mean, I would be livid, but I'm not a super hardcore Halo fan, so
kind of
I couldn't tell you.
kind of think is like Halo answer to. I mean, Halo obviously is a very simplistic term for every team that has an invested stake in the game. So the Microsoft side of it, the 343 and so on. Let's just call that Halo. So Halo only answers to itself. So if Halo's going to be late, Halo has to deal with it. That's fine. Okay. But if Halo's uh, TV show is going to be late, that's not just Halo. That's Halo and their invested partner and production team at Showtime. They're the ones they're putting money into filming it and producing it, into putting it onto TV schedules and or on demand if it is. I don't know what Showtime actually is. So they're probably thinking, okay, if we're gonna be late and slow, then that's on us. If we're causing other people to be late and slow, where we have big money TV contracts, that could sting quite a bit.
Mm,
So you kind of feel that they're probably going, oh shit, we need to put shitloads of time into this to make sure that it's good. All the assets need to be really good. We can have a
yeah.
new patch if the game looks like that. What's it? What Craig the whatever? I can't remember what they called it. That face that you keep seeing. They keep the one that everyone's titled as Craig, the one that was like really poor, low res, like
Yeah.
low definition, whatever. Um, okay, we can patch that out. We can launch with that, have the piss taken out of us, and patch it out. On a TV show, that will look like that for the rest of time. People will be
Mhm.
digging out that TV show and going, look at the state of this! Oh my god! In 15,
Yeah,
20
but
years' time.
arguably, the Mass Effect Andromeda, that got patched out, and people still probably haven't played that game because of the mess that it looks.
Oh, yeah, I'm not. I mean, we said previously the one chance at a first impression kind of thing. If you
Yeah.
fuck it up, you done fuck it up. But you still have at least a little bit of a caveat. So you can kind of like when you're going forward in time, you can plaster over the cracks of time by in your future market and go, look at how cool it looked, and now look at how cool it looks. It's even better. And everyone's like, yeah, but it didn't look like that when it was back then. It looked fucking trash. But on a TV program, you can't really do that as such, unless you do
Yeah.
like a uh, like the Star Wars films where they had the remasters in like the late 90s kind of thingy from the 70s and 80s films. Unless you revisit them like that, but you do that for films, not TV programs. So um, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that they've put so much resource into the TV show Distraction, as it says in the title of this VGC article. Um, it's not really a distraction. It's unfair to say it is a distraction. Obviously, TV shows add so much to fandoms and so much to um, communities that are heavily invested in games. It's a bit harsh to call it a distraction. However,
Mm,
if that has slowed down the development of the game, if the delay is significantly influenced to that, then it is a distraction, and then it just shows that the internal management of that studio in terms of creating the content and having resources and stuff, their flaws that they've planned out, saying, okay, we're gonna have this part of the game built by then, this by then, this by then, and then it's all going to be finished by the deadline. Boom! And we're also making sure we've got resources for this and that and the other. Either they'd missed some stuff off the floors, stuff just wasn't anticipated to be as hefty as it was, or new things have come in that thought they could slide in. Like maybe they didn't have ray tracing from the beginning, and that's come along, so they've had to go through rework it. That's very unlikely, but
Yeah.
let's just say that as an example. They've had to go through back and make sure that all of the assets and all of the lighting and stuff works with ray tracing in mind, which has added extra months, which has pushed everything else back, which has meant that they've had less time. And then the TV stuff is like usually we need to push certain things back, but the TV stuff's like nope, we have deadlines that we have to stick to, which then interferes with everything else. Then, so it is a distraction and it is a resource drain, but it's a good distraction and it's a good drain of resource if it's done properly. So the TV show probably a distraction, as it says there, but if it was all planned in properly, then it shouldn't be an issue. Shouldn't be an issue. So you can't blame the TV show. A TV show, it's whoever's in charge of the internal project management in that sort of sense. So fuck you, project manager. God damn it. No, I mean it's not a problem. It shouldn't be thrown on someone in that sort of sense. But yeah, I mean having something like a TV show, if that was never in there, if that was something that they just thought, fuck yeah, we can make money off this. We can get exposure off this, and they've thrown it in without consulting the teams, then the TV show is a negative distraction. But once again, it's a good thing to add on. So it's not the show that's at the fault; it's the decision making behind that. Whoever's decided, okay, we can be late, we can overload our staff, we can have half-assed products that aren't shown running on Xbox Series X's during the Xbox Series X game showcase. Then whoever's making those decisions, that's the person that's at fault. So the TV show is the reason, but the factor that decided that is the person that made those decisions.
Yeah, man.
That's it. That's that. Anyway, let's move forward. Let's move forward. So from one video game that will be coming soon, or not soon in the case of Halo, as it's next year now, but to another that is coming soon, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War has officially been confirmed as this year's game. I mean, we've known it for a while, but now it's official, and the reveal is on August the 25th, so just 6 days' time. This is written by Sherif Saed for VG 24/7. A week of Easter egg hunts and an elaborate ARG, I don't know what that is, have led us to the first official teaser for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Activision has officially, in an unusual way, confirmed the name of this year's Call of Duty, as industry reports suggested earlier this year and backed up by Doritos bags. This year's game is titled Call of Duty. Call of Duty. Okay. Nice. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Over the past few days, the company has been running a big ARG. What's ARG? That involved spending.
It's an ARG.
What's an ARG?
It's like a cryptic clue type of thing.
Okay. There you go. You learned something new. Over the past few days, the company has been running a big ARG that involved sending Call of Duty YouTubers slide projectors, which would later point them to spots on maps from Black Ops 4 and others in Warzone. Though casual players may have spotted some teasers, the hardcore were tracking ciphers and participating in a collective attempt to decode the various messages. All of that has culminated with the unlocking of an unlisted trailer on the official Call of Duty YouTube channel, which confirms Wednesday, August 26th. As the date of the official reveal. The trailer features footage from a real 1984 interview with KGB defector Yuri Bezmenov, interspersed with footage of global unrest. The game's events will seemingly be inspired by real-world events more than earlier Black Ops games. The trailer briefly touches on an embedded Soviet spy codenamed Perseus, another real figure whose identity remains unknown. Interestingly, the trailer's description suggests the reveal will take place in Verdansk, the fictional country where Warzone takes place. Seeing as official Call of Duty channels have yet to share news of the reveal publicly, the game's unveiling may not take a traditional live stream form. Indeed, Activision recently said that that Warzone has caused it to rethink how, when, and even where we reveal our upcoming title. We'll keep you updated. Oh, there we go. So, new Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War. That was Call of Duty, by the way, just not with my deaf mouth. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War has been confirmed and will be revealing on August 26th. So, in less than a week. Big thoughts?
I'm actually going to throw this back to you, Graham, because I think this one affects you more than me. Because I know you don't like the older type-ish games. What are your thoughts on this in terms of the weapons that you'll be using and the environments that are going to be around you?
Um,
It's not gonna be a it's not gonna be a Modern Warfare Cold War, is it? It's gonna go back.
yeah, it's more modern than the stuff that really doesn't float my boat. So World War Two, World War One, stuff like that just does not float my boat. Iron sights on weapons as pretty much the only thing you can have. It just doesn't fuss me. I mean, when you turn on a Call of Duty game and it goes. That sort of like I don't know if that's RTX or not, by the way, but that sort of
Yeah,
like
like night vision.
yeah, yeah, exactly. The night vision, like you see it alongside the wave file kind of thing that you used to get on the
Yeah.
Infinity Ward logo and things like that. That for me is what I want. I want that. I mean, I know that's just me. There are people that absolutely love World War Two and previous stuff like that, but I want to know I'm fighting stuff that could be happening now. I know the best technology that's out there now, right now, is on the weapons that I'm using in game, and that's where I get my immersion. I like that real world connection. I don't want to be using rusty, rickety old iron sighted weapons. I don't want to be using rusty, rickety old technology with the idea that it does the
Mm.
same as something new. So Call of Duty games, you get like a UAV or something like that has essentially modern day scanning technology. So you realize there's something flying above you in the air. In theory, that could be something that happens in the game. You call in a UAV, which is basically a little plane that flies around above you, uh, and it tells you where everyone is on the map. And that
Yeah.
happens. It's not because one person stood there going, "There's a guy on the tree to your left." It's not. No one's shouting it down. It's like it's supposed to be a computerized feedback into your minimap in game kind of thing. I get that. But then when you go back to like Call of Duty old school, and then you've got like a plane actually flying around overhead, and you're getting visual dots to represent where every single person is. I get it's doing the same thing, and I know it's supposed to be a video game thing, but that instantly jars with me. So that's the very minute things. You go back to like having the cool things like heartbeat sensors and having little remote control cars and all of the gadgets and gizmos and stuff that you
Mm.
get in newer games. I like that sort of stuff. Um,
Yeah.
that said, I did enjoy Black Ops because that's not as far back. Black
Mhm.
Ops is 80s-ish, Cold War, that sort of period. Really enjoyed Black Ops 1, and I started to phase off on Black Ops 2. I just kind of like had my Call of Duty um, peak by that point. At that point, I was just like, yeah, I've been there, I've done it. It's all the same thing over and over again. Like a lot of people did. I mean, people stayed maybe an extra couple of years on top of what I did. Because a lot of people rave about Black Ops 2 as being I think it's 2, being one of the best Black Ops out there. I mean, I peaked around between Modern Warfare, World at War, Modern Warfare 2 ish. That's where my sort of peak
Yeah.
was. Did enjoy Black Ops Cold War, Black Ops Cold War, Black Ops, and it all being themed in the Cold War. Did enjoy the things that came in that game mode. So having the free camera angle, so you can go back and into theater mode and look at the maps and the games and the kills you got. Having the ability to lob tomahawks up into the air and land on someone at the other side of the map, being able to watch that. Loved all of that stuff back then. So I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I probably won't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed having all of the modern stuff that you do have in Warzone right now, though. For me, what about you?
Yeah. Well, for me, I don't play Call of Duty online that much anyway. So the online element for me is neither here nor there. I'm not that bothered about it. However, I love playing through the campaigns, and that's where the stories of these events and where they're set, the time frame that they're set, all starts to shine through with me. So having the ability to the attachments for your guns, it doesn't bother me whatsoever because I know that's the area that it's been set in. So as long as the story's good, then for me, I'm not bothered. I'll be more than happy to play it. The online side of things, I don't know. I'm not going to say it's because I'm getting older. I don't really care for that kind of team deathmatch uh, capture the flag sort of stuff because there is still games that I still enjoy playing that with. But I can't remember the last time I got a Call of Duty just to play online. Like the ability to play Call of Duty Warzone now online as a battle royale, that's interesting until I start playing it and realize how bad I am at first person shooter games. So it's very difficult for me to be able to judge online elements because I'm usually terrible at them and I don't spend that much time with them. Recently, I've been playing Call of Duty World War II, and I've actually been enjoying that. And obviously, the guns on that aren't anywhere close to what you get in Call of Duty Warzone. Um, but in terms of the online stuff, I can take it or leave it. If I'm playing with my mates, I'll probably have a good time. But when it comes down to the solo single player experience and you're going through the campaign, that's where the Call of Duty games tend to shine for me, and that's what kind of venture towards every time I want to play the game. It's not that often that I will go out and pick up a Call of Duty game now straight off the bat. I don't know if it's because I'm kind of growing out of them. I just don't care for them that much anymore. I don't know, but yeah, I'll be more than happy to be if the story's good, which I assume it will be from this kind of era. Um, then I will be more than happy to get stuck into that one. I mean, still Call of Duty Frontline and Rising Sun, two of the they're Medal of Honor games, and they're still some of the best writing you will ever see in a first person shooter game, and they are if this is anywhere close to what they were like, then that'll be great. I mean, the World War II game that I was playing, when you play online, you get to play the what is like the first level of Medal of Honor Frontlines. Is it on the front of Normandy Beach?
Yeah.
Fantastic, brilliant. I love that. I love being able to attack and defend it. That for me is like peak first person shooter games. Is you already know the narrative in your head because obviously it was a real life thing, so you already have that narrative in your head, and you are playing as either the defender or the attacker. That's brilliant for me. But yeah, just the mindless team deathmatch stuff. I can't really get into it anymore. But the single player and the writing, if it's great, then I will be fully behind it.
See, I thought that mindless team deathmatch, absolutely, just not for me anymore. I'm an old man, don't have the reactions, and I remember playing.
Mm,
I mean, going back a couple of years now. Modern Warfare Remastered. That brought me back into it because I was like, okay, I'll give it a try because I know what it is. I've got map logic, so I don't have to contend with having the map knowledge. It's just my reaction speeds that are going to be shit now compared to when that first came out. And I was I was horrendous, and I eventually over time got really good at it, better than I was originally. Um, but that had a little bit of the old school like rose tinted glasses kind of stuff that drew me back in. I've not played any Modern Warfare, the new one, multiplayer. I mean, I don't own the game actually, but there has been like free to play weekends and things like that. I've just not bothered jumping in, especially by the time you get the free to play weekend. Everyone else is really good at it, so you've got like 2 days to just get absolutely mauled. It takes 2 days to get good at it. So, yeah, I'm getting good, and it's turned off. And that's what incites you
yeah,
to buy it. That's how it works. But for me, that's kind of not of interest to me. I mean, I am more interested though in more well, Modern Warfare first, and then Black Ops series kind of second, and then anything older than that would be tertiary for me. So I did like the cinematic stuff of the World War II campaign. But it's just like I feel like I'm in a history lesson, which that's not where I get my entertainment from. I'm not a history buff in that side. I respect history, and I've not. I did history in school, took it to choices and things like that, and yeah, that's nice. But I don't want to. I don't want that schooling element. I want new, modern, pushing the envelope experiences for me. So yeah, that stuff not so much. Black Ops does have my interest though. Let's jump through the chat because I did see quite a few comments. Pez Luke says Call of Duty. Is that a crossover of COD and Duke Nukem? Get out of here! Get out! It was a verbal typo. Leave it alone. Yeah. Mr. Jim Butters, who I do play Warzone with, although we haven't played for a while, says Black Ops when that came out was great, and if this can capture how the first one was, then it can be a great winner. I mean, Black Ops was incredible. I mean, it didn't have too much of a step back, whilst it did have like aperture sights and things like that. You still didn't really notice that you were stepping back in time as such when it came to the gameplay. Obviously, it did with the story, and the narrative in the story was good. A lot of people really liked the story of the Black Ops series, so there's that side of it too. But yeah, I agree. Fatman Dave says ARG used to stand for augmented reality game, like Pokemon Go interacts with real settings unless the definitions change. See, I knew it as that, but I just knew it as AR rather than ARG. As a Cold War nerd, I'm so very much happy about this, as Chappers. Chaos Rider Zero, Mr. Locke, Mr. Chris says, is Cold War a new game? Never played any of the blogs games. Blops games. Cold War is a new game. Black Ops Cold War is the new. That's the 2020 release. So it will be revealed in a week. So you'll find out from there. I would recommend Blops 1 and 2 heavily, says Chappers. Blops 2 is still my favourite COD ever, but Blops 1 is my favourite campaign ever. See, I kind of wish I hadn't had my COD fatigue at the point of Black Ops 2
Mm.
because so many people say Black Ops 2 is their favorite game, but I'd given up on it by then. It was just like,
Yeah.
because after Black Ops, was that Modern Warfare 3? Which just didn't. You had the big juggernauty things and stuff like that, which some people find cool, but I was just like, it's just there was a juggernaut perk in the game, and you've just kind of taken that even further, rather than
Mhm.
just taking a bit more damage to becoming this unstoppable like war machine or the Hulkbuster from Iron Man kind of thing. Just it's, not for me. So by that point, I'd drifted off. So Black Ops 2 came after that, I think, and then I was just like, nah, I'm not bothered. So I've never really played it, but loads of people say that is their best COD. For me, Modern Warfare and or Modern Warfare 2. Well, actually, I can't decide. I like Modern Warfare, World at War, and Modern Warfare 2. Poor World at War. Only massive COD fans really remember World at War. Um, most people will remember Modern Warfare because that is where Call of Duty became ridiculous. That's when you had it was literally news stories. Call of Duty, the biggest selling, multi-selling game ever. I remember my local Sainsbury's selling Call of Duty at 20 quid on launch day. 20 quid for a 45 quid game on launch day. Because they knew that you'd come in and you'd buy the game and you plan to spend 4 days inside. So you'd pick up 6 bags of Doritos, you'd pick up yourself four 2 litre bottles of Fanta Fruit Twist or whatever it is you want to buy, and then you'd go and just sit there in your hibernation station and just be like, boom, that's it, this is me now. And they're making the money off everything else that's there. And they did the same thing with the FIFA at that point in time. Didn't last long, so they clearly didn't make that much money off it, but that's how big Call of Duty was back then. So yeah, I was massively into it back then. Faded off at Black Ops. I will definitely be interested in playing Black Ops Cold War though. I've enjoyed Warzone hugely. I hope that they don't destroy Warzone. We spoke about this before. People's mentioned how can they put the new stuff into the existing Warzone setup without fundamentally changing that. So if you got futuristic
Mhm.
stuff in an 80s setup, then does that work? Does that not work? Do they take it out? And if they take it out, does that change all of the stuff that you have already? I've unlocked, as I mentioned the other day when we were speaking about, I've unlocked an SMG that has like a holographic sort of night vision red dot ish scope, which is future. Ooh. But then that didn't
Mhm.
exist in the 80s. I mean, look at what the Predator had to see in the films in the 80s. That's about as far as it goes. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they balance the two though. Case Right Zero says, I've always been more of a Battlefield fan, but Modern Warfare series was pretty good. You get them ready, Russ. Chapper says, I like Battlefield. I feel like up to and including Bad Company 2, Battlefield Bad Company 2, one of the best games ever, by the way. Not just FPS games, but one of the best games ever. It's perfectly sound as a campaign, but I can't do Battlefield campaigns outside of those earlier games. Trust me, if you get the chance to pick up Blocks 1 and 2 for dirt cheap, play them for the campaigns. Pez Luke says, Battlefield Bad
Mhm.
Company were two of the best campaigns I played. And
Yeah.
Chappers confirmed saying absolutely immense worth. It wasn't even about the campaigns. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. It was the multiplayer was just. It was everything that's in good multiplayer games now is heavily influenced by the Bad Company games. Destructive environments started off in that sort of thing. Being able to tag enemies so that your teammates can shoot them and see them and you can get assist points and stuff. All started in the Battlefield Bad Company stuff 10, 12, 13 years ago. So, yeah. Maybe even longer. Maybe even longer. Anyway, let's move ahead. So rather than talking about what is happening in video games, now let's get a bit more negative. Yeah, and we can't be negative without it being about football games. Yeah. So written by Tom Ivan for VGC, FIFA 21 won't support cross-platform play even within console families. EA has described cross-play as a long-term goal for the series. Electronic Arts has said that FIFA 21 won't support cross-platform play in any form. EA's FIFA Direct Communication Twitter account confirmed the football game's lack of cross-play support on Wednesday. You won't be able to play across console generations or cross-play in FIFA 21, it said. Excuse me. However, you will be able to carry over your foot progression from PS4 to PS5 and Xbox One to Xbox Series X. Just stop there for a second. So you can't play against other people, but the in-game mode where you plow loads of money will allow to continue. Okay, well, we can see where priorities lie for video game companies. Anyway, however, no, done that bit. In a FIFA 21 FAQ released in June, EA said allowing our players to play against each other on whichever platform they play EA Sports FIFA is a long-term goal of ours. It added, at this moment, we don't have any news but we're continuing to investigate its integration and will share any updates when we have them. The FIFA 21 release date is October 9th, 2020 for PS4, Xbox One, and PC via Origin and Steam, but EA Play, formerly EA Access members, will be able to trial the game from October 1st. Do you know what? We'll leave the rest of the stuff because that's all stuff that we've covered. We will stop and notice this, though. In the middle of the screen, I mean, well played by both FIFA and VGC for getting involved and understanding that Ice Cream Uploads FC's two newest signings are on display in that picture. Mason Mount and Phil Foden both signed for Ice Cream Uploads FC yesterday on our episode of Masters of the League. So GG, VGC, and FIFA for acknowledging that. We appreciate it very, very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Yeah. We did, though. We signed Mason Mount and Phil Foden. Spoilers. The video will be on YouTube. If you want to see it, go check it out. Check it out. I said is on YouTube. So yeah, go check it out. I'm salty they never carried it on. Carried what on? I don't know what you mean.
Bad company, I reckon.
Okay. Apparently, there's rumours that that's coming back. There is rumours. There's been rumours for a couple of years that that's something that they're going to be working on. So we will see. We will see. There's no Medal of Honor. There hasn't been a Battlefield for a while, and the last one was kind of all over the place. It was bad, then it was good, and then it was okay, and then Firestorm was not good. So yeah, we'll see. Battlefield, Bad Company 2, best Battlefield game ever. That was my tank to kill, says James. Yeah, we used to. Yeah, me, James, and Martin, who play Warzone together now. We would jump into many games, and like it would basically we'd all have C4, and as soon as there was a tank, it was kind of like just all beeline for the tank. James blows it up. Fuck's sake! Martin, James, who were brothers, so obviously there's natural banter / competition there. Yeah, that just continued. Bad Company 2, good. Anyway, back into the room. FIFA 21 won't support cross-platform play even within console families. Thoughts, babe?
I think this is something that we've covered a few times the day before anyway. I don't see how they would be able to do cross-platform with foot, especially because of the marketplace that they've got in the game. The markets are completely different across all three of the platforms, and this isn't coming to Nintendo. Well, you can place foot in Nintendo Switch, and it's not coming to Stadia, so it doesn't matter about them anyway. But PS4, Xbox, and PC, they all have different markets for so the players may be cheaper on one but hella more expensive on the other one. So localizing and bringing all three of the platforms together, I don't think is a realistic target for them anyway, as of now. So it'll be very interesting to see how they localize their markets going forward, if that is going to be the case. It is a bit of a bummer about the likes of pro clubs that you can't play with your mates on Xbox or something like that. But I mean, crossplay has only recently come into full mainstream within probably 18-24 months.
Yeah.
That they've been fighting for it. So I imagine with an online transfer market, that is where the biggest bump is for them, because they'll be thinking, okay, so the players are going for 2 mil on that console, but they're only going for 750,000 on there. How do we make that? How do we make that central for everyone to be able to get there? So yeah, it's the content is always exactly the same, really, especially for the free consoles. It's only Nintendo Switch that's previously changed, so it's interesting to see how they will go about this in the future. I reckon they will have to. Well, as soon as you boot up the new console, anyway, the markets are reset, shall we say? Each player has its own limit on the card of what you can spend or what the minimum is you can spend. So they already have the caps in there. I don't know when this is going to be a thing. I don't know if it's even feasible for them to be able to have crossplay in football games. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is that they aren't having crossplay. You can't play from PS3 to PS4, PS4 to PS5. You can't play from PS4 to Xbox One. You can't do Xbox Series X to PS5. None of that stuff. But you can have forward progression in foot. So that sounds like they aren't having new servers in the PlayStation environment. So PS4 to PS5, you can move forward. Xbox One to Xbox Series X, you can move forward. That sounds like the Xbox. So at the moment, we have PS4 servers, we have Xbox servers, we have PC servers for and Switch as well, I think you said. So, okay, that will exist. The only difference now is that you will get different access points. So you can access using your PS4 console, and you can access using your PS5 console. After that, I imagine it's just going to be just like having a different log-on device. You log on using your PS4 and PS5, you'll have the same progress, you'll have the same database, you'll have the same like ticks in boxes on your the back end of your
Yeah.
system. You will just be accessing a very a slightly prettier version on the PS5 versus the PS4 and say the Xbox. So that's all right, and it sounds like it's a step forward. I mean, it's kind of not really. It's like saying, okay, well, you logged in on your PS4 to play Ultimate Team, babe, but then you went to the office and you logged in one of the office PS4s. You're playing the same Ultimate Team because you're logged in using your account. You're accessing the exact same system, but just on a different piece of hardware. That's all that is. Just the hardware has a 5 on it, not a 4, or an X, not a 1. So I mean, it's forward progression, which it should be celebrated. It's not really any change though. That's an easy win, like you say. That is an easier win. The harder part though is how do you then normalize those markets? The only way they can do that is to throw all the markets into one pool, which then gets rid of any differences. So Chappers had a comment saying, "Isn't the marketplace on PC like 5% cheaper across the board? Because if it is, as a first FIFA game, I've had the joy of getting on PC. I'm happy." I mean, that's the thing though. That 5% reduction would be gone. The only way that they can assemble cross-platform play, actually, there's 2 ways they can do it. They can have it so that the marketplace is platform specific, but the play isn't, which then that's kind of like an issue in itself because you're playing with different handicaps, different rubber banding. So if you're on a platform that has a cheaper marketplace, you in theory have
Thank you for
more
the ice
ability.
cream.
Just thank you very much for the host, dude. If you're on a platform that has a cheaper marketplace, you in theory have the ability to have a better team because you have more money to spend on these players that are cheaper. So you go into a game with an advantage. So that it strings and roundabouts. I mean, it's good that it's cheaper, but if you have the cross-platform play, so you don't have the shared marketplace, you just have the shared gameplay, then you're already playing with a bit of disparity. The other way of doing it is sharing the marketplace too, which then eliminates any potential for the markets being weaker, but then also increases the potential for markets to be exploited. So you often see market exploits. Even content creators have a good exploit in markets in terms of this. They show someone as being, let's say you're a YouTuber with 5 million subs. This is the best cheap player that you need on FIFA. It's absolutely incredible. Everyone then goes out to buy this player. The price is going up, kind of thing. They just go, well, I've got 7 of them, so sold. They just make absolutely shitload of money off of it. And if you're doing that in a system where everyone is fighting in one system, you've got more people fighting for the same, like effectively less players. And if that's not balanced properly to ensure there's enough to go around, then you start to get like issues with the market and stuff like that. And that is hardcore economics, which I understand why EA aren't going down that route. All yet, it's the long term goal. The long term in the ideal situation, and I bet the guys at FIFA would love to be able to say this, but probably can't, obviously for shareholder reasons. Is we want everyone on the same game, we want everyone playing on the same system, and we want everyone using the same marketplace. So everything's just one continuous, beautiful thing. But having that and saying that is worlds away from being attainable. Ad says, thank fuck it's not cross-platform. The servers are bad enough already. This year they went down 8 times. 3 times they got DDoSed. See, the DDoS stuff, I know it's a massive company, and I know they have stupid amounts of money. But if somebody that's good enough wants to DDoS you, they will get your servers offline. There's only so far that your security can go. They will do it again, and then they will find another way to get around that next layer. Another way to so the DDoSers. That's just people being knobheads. I refuse to blame any company, EA or anyone, if they get DDoSed. Even PSN and so have been DDoSed at Christmas of all times. So yeah, the DDoS stuff, I'm not that bothered about. But yeah, them going down 5 times. I mean, look at how many times Fall Guys went down just yesterday because Tim the Tapman was trying to get a win.
Yeah.
He had like over 250,000 people just watching his stream, and he finally got a win. But yeah, because so many people were logging in to try and either stream snipe him or protect him, the servers went down. So yeah, I mean, FIFA is such a massive game. It's easy for us to go, this is so big, they've got so much money, you've been doing it for so long. Surely it should always be online. I mean, all we do is stream Masters of the League, and we couldn't get it to work last week, so we can't say anything. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, cross-platform servers doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be worse either. As well, cross-platform can be worse, but could mean that that all the servers in one place, all on the same thing, not having to use multiple systems, could in theory be better too. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. PlayStation and Xbox have both been DDoSed, and the whole thing is having everyone online. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Anyone can be DDoSed. Anyone. Like the FBI have been DDoSed previously, and if the FBI, which is an organisation that is fundamental element is security, because that's what the police are there for, securing our well-being. If a security organisation goes down, then the rest of us are fucked. We ain't got no chance.
Yeah. No chance.
No chance of hell you got. So yes, if you're planning on getting FIFA, you can move your progression forward. So if you start in October when it comes out, if the consoles aren't out then, obviously, because October is when FIFA is supposed to come out, you can start playing it from the 1st of October. The game comes out on like the 8th, 9th of October. 9th of October. Obviously, the Xbox doesn't come out until November, so you'll have a month playing it. A month in terms of FIFA's progression in Ultimate Team is a long time. So you could have gone very far. Don't worry if you are getting an Xbox or a PS5, you will be able to take that progression forward. You just won't be able to play cross-platform. Whilst people might moan at that, you've not lost anything. That's what we've all always had. So yeah, it will come eventually one day, but today is not that day. But what we do get today though is new PUBG upgrades. Yeah. Yeah, let's move forward. PUBG gets decoy grenades, an MG3 LMG, and more in a new patch. Who wants PUBG news? Me? Nice, nice. Let's go. Okay, written by Sherif Saed for VG247. PUBG has just received some new content. Patch 8.2 has been released on the PC's live servers following a week of testing. The patch follows just a few weeks after the Sanhok overhaul that kicked off Season 8 in July. And the biggest new arrival is with 8.2 is the MG3, a powerful crate-only LMG. That's the light machine gun, by the way. The MG3 has a high 990 rate of fire that makes it deadly. You can also toggle on a slower 660 rate of fire for better accuracy. In either case, the MG3 comes equipped with a bipod. On top of its excellent damage against other players, the MG3 also deals more damage to vehicles than any other weapon, with a 1.25 times vehicle damage multiplier. The MG3 fires 70 Doctor Disrespect reference. I'm not just blue screening. 7.62 rounds with a magazine that holds 75. You can attach scopes to the MG3 up to 6 times. Another new arrival is the decoy grenade, which joins the loot pool in Sanhok. It works just as you imagine. You throw it and it plays random firing sounds to cover your approach and potentially lure other players into a trap. You can cook the decoy grenade like you cook other grenades, and its noise lasts for 10 seconds. On the subject of new content, Erangel has seen a neat new addition in the form of 4 new docks across the game's beaches and wharves, and you'll find them at Novoreponye, Ferrypier, the southern beach of the mainland, and the northern beach of Sosnovka Island. The developer has also redone the models and in-game sounds for the M4 machine gun, the Kar-98, and the SKS to improve their visual fidelity. Those who hate it when their helmets ruin their appearance will also be happy to know that they can now automatically hide the helmet. Keep in mind, however, that this only applies to what you see. The other players will still see your massive, massive helmet equipped. There you go. PUBG updates, big, sexy new machine gun. I've actually seen this being used on stream a few times. Basically, the
Yes.
the PT, a few the PC guys, because the PC guys got it in game today, today. But their PTS started last week, so I saw a few people using it last week, and basically the rate of fire stuff you can choose to go like a machine gun, or you can go stupidly fast, and it absolutely spews out bullets. If you're using a mouse and keyboard and you're just yanking your mouse down your keypad, then you can fight the recoil. Probably on controller, if me and Bib are doing that, you're probably going to see us like aiming at the sun. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. All good. All good. Nice little tweaks to the game. It's nice. You'll see them very, very soon. You would have seen them now. We would have been just about to jump into some PUBG because we are done with the scoop. That's all of the news we have for the day. You would have seen us jumping in, and actually, you wouldn't have seen them now because they're on PC version, but you would have potentially been able to see us play PUBG now. But that isn't going to happen. We're not playing PUBG today because we are doing something else. Can we say what we're doing? I don't know how this works.
No, I think all I can say is that I'll be back online in like an hour's time. It will be before that. I'll be online before I do the tweet. Put it that way.
Yeah. So stick around. In the next hour or so, we'll be back on. Yeah, there you go. We'll just leave it as that. So we aren't playing PUBG today. We will be playing something else. I mean, all will become apparent, and we'll explain why we're being vague on it. Obviously, at the point in time, but just just that's what we're saying. So stick around. Keep your notifications on. You will get notified when we do go live. That's the easiest way to say it. Massive helmet, says Chappers. I mean, fuck's sake, it's called Bib. Leave him alone.
Can you
man.
see it? Oh, one sec. Let me zip up.
But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We are done for the scoop. An hour. Wow, we got it done in an hour. Less than an
I
hour
know.
today. Boom.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, if you like what you've seen, please feel free to think about hitting like on the channel, or follow as it is on Twitch. Sorry, I apologize. Follow will get you notified when we do go live. And we go live each and every single weekday, 10 a.m. ish with the scoop, and then we have additional content following that in the form of the Masters of the League PES series, PUBG,
Yeah.
and all the other things that we want to do. We've got some Mafia playthroughs coming. Bibby was playing PGA last week. What was it last week? Or was it the week before? I don't know.
The week before.
A while ago. Some football manager streams, all sorts of stuff. If you want to see all of that, the best way of getting notified is by hitting the follow button. We do have a schedule which we keep reasonably up to date on the Twitch channel too. But yeah, everything else, you just get it through the follow notifications. That's the best way of doing it. Anyway, we are going to disappear. As mentioned, we'll be back shortly on the channel, around an hour-ish or so. But before we do disappear, babe.
Yeah, man.
In your rather luxurious Ice Cream Uploads hat, is there anything that you would like to add to the stream?
I would, if you do see any video game news that you think that you want to hear our opinions on, but you also have yours as well, and you want to get them heard, there's two ways of doing that. First of all, find us on social media. It's at Ice Cream Uploads across absolutely everything on all major social media platforms. Obviously not MySpace and that because dead. And then, yeah, the second way is obviously through the Discord. The links will be coming up in chat anytime soon. So yeah, just click on the link there. If you aren't in the chat, you're watching this on demand, just go into the comments, the description below. You'll be able to see them there as well. But if you're watching this live and you don't want to wait for the link, all you need to do is go to the panel underneath. You'll be able to find it there. Blah 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 blah. Put your thoughts and impressions along with the link, and then we'll be able to give you our thoughts and impressions in the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
10 a.m. ish.
10:59 ish.
Exactly. Quick reminders: we are doing a giveaway, exclamation mark giveaway. If you want the link for that, we do get you discount on Muscle Moose, exclamation mark Muscle Moose if you want that, and we are giving gifts away to our subscribers, exclamation mark loot drop if you want some information on that. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Have yourselves a fantastic day. We'll see you in around an hour back here on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. Until then, have yourselves a fantastic day. And Bib, what have they got to do?
Stay.
Subtitles. Stay Frosty.